Hello and welcome back to 1874. It is 11:25 p.m. and I am very late and very live here on 1874 to talk about Leeds United 1, Aston Villa 2 in association with Match Bingo. Scan the QR code on the screen or head to 1874.io/matchbingo to buy bingo cards around all the football and sport that's on at the moment. You buy four, you get one free. They're £2 each. Please gamble responsibly, and if you use the code 1874 when you're depositing, you'll get an 100% deposit bonus if you're depositing £10. Anyway, let's get into it. It's late. I'll be surprised if anyone joins me live. Might get some people from abroad join me actually, because as I say, it's 11:25 at night here in the UK. Apologies, I've been working all day in Liverpool, got back late. I've recorded a show with Tanswell that will come out tomorrow, a bit more of a deep dive into the victory, how it happened. Jacob, of course, has spoken to Emery after the game and whatnot, so that'll be a deeper dive into Villa beating Leeds out on Monday. But I couldn't let Sunday pass without jumping on and speaking to the lovely subscribers that have joined me live, and they're starting to trickle through now. So good evening to Chad Lavelle, Paul Woffenden, Villa fan 8882, and Lee Tumber, who have been kind enough to greet me in the live chat here on YouTube. What an excellent result that was for Aston Villa Football Club. I spoke in the preview about it being a big week for Villa, a week where Villa could kind of show what kind of season it's going to be for us. At half-time, I think I had my reservations, as I'm sure many of you did as well. Didn't foresee that we'd hit the ground running quite as well as we did in the second half after a very, very stodgy first half at Ellen Road on a very heavy and stodgy pitch as well. But the Villa boys have got the job done. Unai Emery has got the job done. And now we head into another kind of week period where, because we've won that game, if we can win on Thursday in the Europa League and then beat bottom of the league at the moment, hopeless Wolves at Villa Park on Sunday, we are then starting to cement ourselves in and around the top four, which is where we all want to be. So the first of three big games this week is out the way. Probably the hardest of the three. That will be the way we came back and won that game as well. Shows that it was a tough game, tough afternoon at Ellen Road. But as I say, Villa have got that job done. Absolutely brilliant. Another 3 points, and at the moment we're starting to churn out results. It feels very much like the start we had, or kind of when we were in this period a few years ago under Emery, when we did finish in the top four. Just kind of knowing what you're getting with Villa, and that they are managing to churn results out even when they're not playing well. Even though at times on Sunday it didn't look like that was going to be the case. So let's talk about the game a little bit then. It was a tough afternoon. I thought we were pretty bad in the first half. Another awful goal to concede that Jacob and I have analysed in detail in the show that will be out after this. But you know, we give teams a head start so often. The last 5 goals we've conceded away from home have all been really bad goals, preventable goals. And at the moment, it feels like teams don't have to do much just to score past us or get off the mark, give themselves the lead. So it's a disappointing goal. It was a goal that I think probably could have been disallowed for various reasons. I think once the referee's given it, VAR do everything they can to make sure the goal stands. So I actually think if he had disallowed it, there's no way that it gets overturned. The way they're measuring offsides now, it seems to be a different part of the body or different part of the kit every single week. It seems to be different, but the goal's been given. From Villa's point of view, it's a pretty basic set piece to the back post. It feels like it was a preventable goal. I think Martinez has let himself down a little bit, made up for it with a plum like later on in the game. But I think he's got to be stronger in that situation. It's almost like he thinks that he's just gonna get the foul if someone makes contact with you, and it was soft, to be honest. There might have been a sneaky little nudge that wasn't seen from certain angles, but overall it's a bad goal. And then Conser swings it clear, and it hits the Leeds forward and goes into the back of the net. It's a poor goal, and you give yourself a mountain to climb. If you're playing against a better team, if you're giving away goals like that, you're going to struggle. You know, luckily Leeds are a team that are struggling at the moment. We managed to get ourselves back in the game, but there's no doubting in that first half. I thought Leeds were good. Actually, I thought they kind of showed our deficiencies, or some of our deficiencies, a little bit in that first half. That they got at us. You know, the crowd were on the up, getting an early goal. The physical nature of the game, it felt like we were struggling with that a little bit. Some questionable referee, and again overzealous at times, and a bit laissez-faire at others. But overall, I just felt that we just didn't get to grips with Leeds at all in that first half. Passing way to pass miles off it. It was a heavy pitch, which again is something Jacob and I discuss in the show that will be out tomorrow, or whenever you listen to this, will be out Monday afternoon, as you listen to this. But we didn't do ourselves many favours in that first half. I felt McGinn stood up and wanted to be counted, and he was up for the battle. But sometimes you can see signs that Villa might go under when the game does get a little bit physical, and we managed to kind of cling on in there and not letting the second goal. Letting in the second goal in that first half when Leeds had the better of the half would have been an absolute disaster. Even though we weren't brilliant, we still created a few presentable openings. I thought the final ball was a bit of a letdown at times. Like I say, the passing was absolutely horrendous at times in that first half. Watkins, who had another up and down day, let's say, curled one just wide right in half time, whereas that had gone in, that would have been obviously a big lift for him, and we'd have gone into half time, it being a different story. But I think by the fact that Emery made those two changes at half time, I think he was not very impressed at all with what he saw in that first half. And credit to Emery, because he was brave with his subs and he changed it. He injected a little bit of pace in there, a little bit of guile into that team, and it reaped rewards almost instantly with Daniel Marlin, who can't do anything more to get into this team at the moment. He must wonder how he's not had more football for Villa so far. He makes an immediate impact linking up with Cash down the right-hand side, playing that second striker role off Watkins like he did against the Burnley game. Just fires a delicious ball across the goal. It's a very, very smart bit of predatory from Morgan Rogers. That's not an easy finish. It's a smart finish. It's instinctive play from Morgan. Not really the kind of goal that we see him get too many of for us, but he's took it well and got us back into the game at 1-1. And then just instantly you could just see we were going to be a better team in that second half. Still not perfect, but making enough happen, looking dangerous in transition, because Matson and Marlin have come onto the pitch who've got that little bit of pace. I think in the first half maybe we lacked that little bit of directness and that little bit of pace, because the pitch was heavy. Passes were holding up. They weren't going where players wanted them to. When it's like that, sometimes you just do need to go a little bit direct and have some runners, and Emery's obviously identified that and got Matson and Marlin onto the pitch, and Marlin just carried all kinds of threat in that second half. And I like the dovetailing of him and Watkins. I thought Watkins looked brighter actually when Marlon was on the pitch. Now, Jacob and I talk about Watkins in great detail. Look, I can't dress it up. It's a problem. One goal, 23rd of November. It's not brilliant. He's visibly struggling. There's something wrong out there at the moment. Looks like he's lost that pace that he once had as well. He had some good moments in that game and some bright moments in that game, but he also had some poor moments. We're not creating loads of chances for him, but there's something fundamentally wrong at the top end of the pitch at the moment. It's not coming together for him. He's not the Ollie Watkins that he was a few years ago. We need him back to his best. I don't think there's another option really to play there in all honesty, but we need to get Watkins back to his best. He's ended up coming off again, not completed 90 minutes. Another great use of subs by Emery, in fairness, to get Barkley into the game, because I thought he made a difference again when he came on in transition, winning the free kick, which of course Morgan Rogers scored off as well. Don't know what they're feeding them down at Bodymore at the moment, but they seem to be working on that knuckleball with good old Austin McPhee at the moment. It's a hell of a free kick from Rogers, much like Buendia's a few weeks ago. You know, I will say I did call that Rogers would score from outside the box in the preview, so feeling pretty smug and pretty pleased with myself for that one, and also quite pleased and smug because I did actually put him on the bench in the end on my fantasy football team, but because Semenyo didn't play, he comes on with that big 15 points. So yeah, feeling pretty pleased with myself with my Morgan Rogers prediction and the fact that he's in my fantasy football team. And we did our best to chuck it away, obviously. Within a minute, Jacob tells a great story, by the way, in the pod to come about Dan James coming on, but they could have got us back. Obviously, it was handball from Calvert-Lewin, but on another day, it hits him in a different part of his body. That's 2-2, and you know you're most vulnerable when you've just scored. Villa proved that prophecy, didn't they? Because they nearly chucked it away immediately and let Leeds be pegged back to 2-2 instantly in that moment. But luckily, the VAR gods were on our side, and they rightly disallowed the goal. Martinez has had to make a save at the end, hasn't he? And making up, atoning for his early error. But we saw it out relatively comfortably, and in the end, what was a difficult game has turned into 3 points for Villa. So I think the lads deserve huge credit for that. They'll know themselves that they weren't brilliant in that first half, but the bottle and recovery in the second half to go and win that game. Emery's use of subs, which is just the sign of a top class manager, that he keeps bringing subs into games and they keep kind of turning it for us, or having that impact off the bench to change games or sway games into Villa's favour, or even complete games like they did against Bournemouth. The squad probably feels like it hasn't got as much quality as it had last season because of the wow factor and the star factor of Asensio and Rashford, but we've still got some fabulous footballers that we can bring into games to finish them off for us. And the use of the squad was paramount again this weekend against Leeds, and it will be for the next couple of games as well, with obviously Europe this week and also having Wolves next Sunday at Villa Park. People are gonna get minutes now. I've got to say, again, we go into this in detail with Jacob, but Marlon, he can't do any more, that lad. He's got to start getting some football from the start. I like him in that number 10 position. It means Buendia, McGinn, or obviously less likely, Rodgers is going to have to miss out there. But I think you've got to do something with Marlon. He just looks bright. He looks raring to go every time he's on the pitch, and he's swung that game in Villa's favour today. If he doesn't get introduced at half time, I'm not sure we win that game, because he just changed the face of it instantly by just going direct and whipping in a lovely cross for Rodgers to finish off. I think without him, we probably don't win that game. It's a great bit of management to bring him on, but he just does something every time he's on the pitch. Does Daniel Marlon? So I want to see more of that. I remember saying last year when Duran was coming into games and winning them from the bench, like, why would you change it when it's working? Him coming off the bench, I just think we suffer from not really having a lot of pace in the side. Marlon just gives you that scored a worldie for Holland in the week as well, with a smashing finish. I just want to see him play, because I think he's a brilliant player. I think he's got a brilliant attitude, and he seems really, really, really popular with his teammates as well. Like I say, I'll go into the game in more detail with Jacob in the show that will come out on Monday, but I just did want to jump on and do something. I can't not do anything after that win. It doesn't sit right with me. Let's see what we've got in the chat there. My old friend James Wood from Fancams is in there. Hello, James. Nice to see you in live. I'm surprised how many people are up. What are you doing up at 20 to 12 on a Sunday night? I suppose everyone's got the adrenaline from Villa getting 3 points. Villa fan 8882 says, we are up, mate. I'm not going to sleep until I watch this. Good man or good woman. Villa fan 8882. Really, really appreciate it. We've got Adam Morris watching from Australia. No idea what the time is in Australia. I'm not very good with stuff like that, but yeah, brilliant to see you in there, Adam. Another Adam here says, great win, hard place to win, never mind a comeback. I think Leeds' home record probably goes under the radar a little bit. I think they're one defeat in 14 months, one defeat in the last 25 games, and I don't think they'd lost a game for a long time since going ahead was the start I'd seen as well. So for Villa to be the first team to kind of undo that record is absolutely brilliant. Villa fan 8882 says as well, Rodgers' first goal was more impressive than his free kick. His free kick was, they were both brilliant goals in different ways. You just had a good feeling when he was standing over the ball again, a little bit like Buendia against Bournemouth, that something was going to happen. What's Austin McPhee doing? I want to know. Never know what he's doing. What's he doing in that set piece? How's he getting players' free kick technique to be spot on? Austin McPhee, what a man. And you can tell by the way Rodgers made sure he went over to poor Austin, sat there with his crutch in the dugout. Absolutely love to see. And we've gone from a team who couldn't hit a barn door from a free kick, it felt like, for a year or so, to a team now when players are standing over that ball. I don't remember Rodgers even ever taking a free kick for Villa before, and then he's come up and struck one like Cristiano Ronaldo used to with the old knuckleball, hasn't he? I think he said afterward that Buendia is still the main man from free kicks, but good to know that we've got all these options. Danny Hoxton says, important win, tough December coming. We still haven't clicked yet this year. Hope Tielemans is the catalyst for us really to find our groove and kick on. Yeah, the fact he lasted 90 minutes today, credit to him. I thought when Barkley was coming on, it would probably be for Tielemans, given that he's been out for 10 or so games, but he got himself out there for the 90, didn't he? I think even he was struggling with the conditions out there today. Such a classy player. We did debate whether it would be him or Onana in the preview, and obviously Onana was injured, so it was Tielemans. I'd love to know whether he would have started regardless. If Onana had been fit, it would be interesting to know what Emery would have done. Chad Lavelle says, great win. Lots of great performances. Cash, Rogers, Marlon. Starting to worry about Ollie. Seems to be extremely low on confidence and lost out there. The way he hit that shot on half time, that's not a player that's completely down and out in terms of confidence. It's not happening for him at the moment. For me, the bigger worry for me is that he's carrying this or managing this injury, and it seems to be affecting him. He doesn't just become a bad centre forward overnight. It feels like there's something else at play out there at the moment. He just needs a goal. I mean, Wolves coming to town, the worst team in the Premier League at the moment. Is that the game where he finally gets going? Fingers crossed it is, because he definitely needs something. We can't just keep. I can't keep defending this record that he's got at the moment. 1 goal November the 23rd. It's a difficult thing to defend. I think he obviously is. The fact that there's no other real striker in the building is obviously helping him get in the team at the moment. Because I think if there was another option, I think Emery probably would have tried it at this point with the form and the goal return that Ollie's got. Villafan 882 says Marlon was man of the match. Him coming on added energy and ruthlessness we were crying out for. I think I'd definitely agree with that. Paul Wafferden uses the word bottle, and he's completely right too. Says, showed some bottle today. Villa looking to get the game going again straight after the Rodgers first. No celebration at the corner flag, straight back into their positions. Lee Tumber couldn't get any momentum in the first half due to the poor reffing. Every time we went forward, they'd take us out, and the ref did nothing. The physical nature of the game was a struggle for Villa, wasn't it, in that first half? And the referee was very, very up and down. Seems to have different thresholds for different teams, I felt. But, in the end, we've come out the right side of the result, haven't we? Johnny Lou says, I was so hoping that Ollie was going to get one today. He looks so down at his own performances. He's like a puppy with a sore paw. Incidentally, my dog, who's obviously everyone will know he's blind, was sitting there licking his paw the other night, and then he bit his own paw and yelped out and reacted like someone else had hurt him, which was a bit strange and a story I didn't really need to tell, to be honest. At this point, I think I'm a little bit delirious from a long day in Liverpool and the fact it is nearly midnight. Great Bongo. Would you start Yuri Tillemans or Onana if he's fit? It's going to be a dilemma. Wait to see how long Onana's going to be out for. A little bit like I probably said that Onana should keep the shirt before the game in the preview. Now Tillemans has got it back. Does he keep the shirt? He's played in a win. Johnny Lou says horses for courses. I'd put Onana in to wear them down and Yuri to finesse our performance. I did think if I'd known what the pitch was going to be like, I probably wouldn't have suggested Tillemans over Onana actually in the preview. But Lucas Belmont said this game missed Onana's physicality. Also, as much as I love Buendia, he isn't suited for games that are guaranteed to be really physical. We were much better with the dom. Yeah, Jacob called that out, that looking back with hindsight, it probably wasn't the game for Emi Buendia today. Quacker Daka 617 says Maatsen should now be the starter over Dean. He gives us a bit more pace and energy. It's really difficult because I don't think Luca Dean did anything wrong. He was no better or worse than anyone else in that game. But I certainly did feel that the game was crying out for more pace, and Luca Dean's not the guy for pace down that left hand side. Is he? Maatsen is. I felt Maatsen made a difference. He really helped us in that in that second half. Johnny Lewis says, quick mention of the completion of Cash's redemption arc. Took his knocks, did his job, and offered some good assistance up front. Yeah, good game from Cash again today. Mr. Consistent so far this season. An outside shout. If the Player of the Year award was going to be named tomorrow, he'd be right up there. Matty Cash. I think he really, really would be up there. He's been so consistent so far this season. Credit to him. Looks like an all-round good fullback at the moment, going both ways. So fantastic. Really pleased for him. New contract signed as well. Got a lot of stick at times that I don't think is warranted, but people are saying what he's all about now. He absolutely so consistent. PD Waterhouse says, watched the match at my mate's house in Denver, Colorado today. Only 4:30 p.m. here now. Wow, long day for you, PD Waterhouse, but a long day that I'm sure you have very much enjoyed. Amanda Gray is saying about liking and sharing, all that stuff, very important, as both me and Amanda know. Always follow Amanda's advice there. Rodvik says, Unai keeps praising Watkins, even calling him out today that his goals will come. I doubt Ollie is going anywhere. Agree with Marlon, though. Bloke needs to start. I just don't think Marlon to start is over Watkins, because I don't think Marlon is a lone number 9. Again, something Jacob and I discuss in the pod that's to come tomorrow. But yeah, Emery's never going to come out and slam Watkins. Obviously, he's not going to do that. He'll be worried about the lack of goals. It's good man management to come out and praise him. Obviously, that's what he's going to do. But he does need to start scoring, doesn't he? AVFC 6786 is a tactical lesson from Unai once again. Leeds played well, but we do have a steal to us now. It didn't feel like we did in that first half, but definitely did in the second. Unai obviously got into them and made those changes that he wanted to make, and they helped turn the game. Sometimes a manager can win you a game, and obviously the players have to execute the plan B in that second half today. I really, really do think that that Unai won us that game. Absolute top class manager that we're lucky to have. The way he's turned around the start of the season as well and got us into this kind of winning mode that we're in at the moment, bar going to Anfield, is absolutely sensational. What a manager! How lucky we are to have Unai Emery. A few people talking about Elliott as well. I don't want to get bogged down in it because obviously we've done it quite a lot on the channel, but obviously Onana was missing. Emery talked about people covering different positions in the before the llast game, and or after the last game, and that's why Elliott wasn't there. A central midfielder's out. He's put a central midfielder onto the bench instead. So obviously it's not looking great with Harvey Elliott, but I don't want to get bogged down with it too much. But yeah, it's not looking good, is it, for his future at Villa? He'd be rightfully well frustrated with what's happening at the moment. Just to finish then before I go, UTR3445 says, do you think we're getting a bit lucky at the moment? Like our players' quality is carrying us in games. Not a sustainable style of football, but definitely entertaining. I think we're having periods of most games now where I'd say we're looking a bit more like ourselves and playing well. I thought against Bournemouth we played some brilliant football. Even today, I thought in the second half there was some real signs of patterns of play and real good football. One touch, slick passing in the second half, quick movement, which wasn't there in the first half at all. I guess at the moment we're just providing those moments of magic that Steven Gerrard seemed to want every single week when he was the manager. He called for those moments of magic. We're just missing those moments of magic at the moment. Unai Emery is getting those moments of magic in abundance because every single week we seem to be scoring from outside the box. It obviously can't continue. Or can it? No, obviously we're not going to score from outside the box every single week, but at the moment the players seem to be pretty clinical from those kind of areas, and some players are full of confidence, and that's why they're managing to score so many goals from outside the box. So long may it continue, but at some point we're going to have to get those kind of basic goals that we used to get with. I swear the Rodgers goal was a bit like I'd describe as an Unai goal today, a low cross and a smart finish. We must have scored so many goals. Low cross, smart finish under Unai or a pullback. We just need it to be the number 9 that's the one that's getting on the end of them. I think if that starts to happen, things will feel a lot more like they have done over the last couple of years. But I'm so satisfied with where we are at the moment. To be 4th on November the 23rd at the start of the season, didn't see that coming at all because I felt like it was going to be a difficult season at that point. But since that window shut, by and large, we're churning out wins now. We've made up for that poor start, and it can continue. It can keep going. It's got to continue. Got to win again next week at Villa Park before the difficult December that's been alluded to in the chat. Just keep going. Keep doing what we're doing at the moment. I still think there's more to come from us as well, which is the exciting thing. To be 4th and to think there's more to come. That's a pretty good place to be in, Villa fans. So let's end it on that thought and that lovely thought. Yeah. Thanks ever so much to those that have joined live. There's nearly 200 of you in the chat right now. Apologies, the content has come out so late. Obviously, I've been working all day, so I couldn't record anything until now. So yeah, thank you for being patient, and thank you for those again that have joined me live, and the people that will go on to watch and listen as well. Treat for you tomorrow, because on Monday, because there'll be a pod with Tanswell, and everyone loves hearing what Tanswell has to say. As I say, he speaks to Emery after the game. He speaks to people in and around the club. So it's a good pod post Leeds. So do watch or listen to that when it comes out on Monday as well. If you've watched via YouTube, if you could subscribe with your post notifications on, leave us a comment and leave us a like, that would be absolutely fantastic. Spotify and Apple, the Spotify issues are all resolved now. There was a wider Spotify/megaphone problem. It wasn't anything technical ineptitude from me. So yeah, that's all fixed now. So you can listen on Spotify again or watch, and you can obviously always listen on Apple. So 5 stars, comments, reviews, all those things are really appreciated on the channel. You might even want to go and treat yourself to a bit of match of the day too now. I'm not sure I'm going to do that at this point because I'm very, very tired. But yeah, you may even be able to treat yourself to some match of the day too, because that's obviously been on in the time I've been on here, or probably finished before I came on, actually. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go. Thanks ever so much for all the support on the channel. Watch out for the pod that's out on Monday. And as ever, we'll end with a big, fat, massive